describe my mom in a few words. Outgoing, defiant.
She's studious. She's goal-oriented.
She is kind and compassionate.
Strong. She is determined.
Hey tribe, so today I will be doing a section of the Appalachian Trail. So here we are out at Annapolis Rocks, and I thought it would be fun today to do a get to know me video on a day hike, taking a stroll. And I've seen a few other YouTubers do the get to know me. And basically it talks a little bit more about me personally, who I am and my life. So I want to say this inspiration for this video came from Stella Hikes. She did a get to know me, which was really fun. And she also added a little piece in where her friends and family came in and talked about her as well. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do a get to know me out on the trail. So it's actually a beautiful day out today. I think it's like 52, and nice little bit of people out here. So I'm trying to read the sign. North and South. Washington Monument, 3 miles. Okay, so this is my first time coming out here, and I was trying to see which way I wanted to go. So let's start. This is Annapolis Rocks North, Annapolis Rocks South. So let's go across the bridge, y'all. So I'm gonna talk a little bit, tell you a little bit about myself. It's kind of loud right here because I'm going across the bridge. So let me just get across first. So a lot of people have their names as their channels. I do not. So let's start there. My name is Lisa, and I have 3 children and a granddaughter. Shout out to Charlie. You're absolutely amazing. I have a brother who's older than me, and he lives in LA right now. Actually, he was living in Atlanta. He lives in LA. I am from Maryland. For short, B-more, from Baltimore, Maryland. So I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland. And my mom and dad divorced when I was pretty young. Trying to make sure I'm on the right, checking these white blazers. So my mom and dad divorced when I was pretty young. I guess I'm weird about time because I can't remember exactly the age, but I'll say about 7 to 8. And initially I was living with my dad because they had the conversation and I was going to stay with him. And then I threw a fit, y'all, like breaking stuff, screaming, crying. And I ended up going to live with my mom. So I say that to say I spent a lot of time with my dad, even though we didn't live together. He always came and got me. And we spent a lot of time outdoors. And so that's where I got the love for the outdoors. We went camping. He taught me how to fish, horseback riding, biking, you name it. We kind of, paddle boating, and interesting enough, we did a lot of walking, but we didn't do a lot of like back country, hiking. We didn't do a lot of hiking, but we did a lot of walking. And that's all hiking really is, in the woods. That's where I got my love for the outdoors. So, thank you, Dad. So, shift gears a little bit. I had my kids pretty young. My oldest son, I had him when I was 18. And I ended up, I have 3 children, like I said. I wanted to talk a little bit about that. So it was kind of a challenging time in my life because I didn't know what direction quite I was going in. And my mom raised me to be really resilient, and whatever you want, you got to just go after it and never give up. So I spent a lot of time with my kids outside, riding bikes, running, going to the field. They played sports. They did a lot of outdoor activities. But I think about it now, I'm like, man, I wish I would have taken them hiking. It's one of the things I didn't do with them. But I am looking forward to doing that with my granddaughter. So, I spent a lot of time in the summers with my grandmother, with my Nana. And I want to say shout out to my grandmother, Elizabeth Massey. She's not here any longer. But we know, like, the physical body dies, but spirit, soul never leaves. So I just want to shout out to her, say thank you, I love you. I spent a lot of time with her in New York City, Queens. So my mom is from New York City, and my dad is from Trinidad. And when I would go to New York City in the summers, we would go on family reunions and take road trips, go on cruises. And it was a really fun time in my life. Now that I look back, I'm like, man, I had so much fun with my grandmother. So she became a diabetic. And at some point she had lost her leg. She became an amputee. And I started giving her insulin, making sure she got into her shower chair, make sure her back was washed, and things like that were done. And that led me to this place where I was like, man, I really enjoy doing this. And of course, this was before I had my kids. Let me say that. Let me preface it. It's before I had my kids. So fast forward a little bit, I had my son at 18, and I utilized the system to welfare to, pull myself up out of a space. So they had a program called Goodwill Industries, and Goodwill Industries had different career paths you could choose. And I knew, because I was spending time with my grandmother when I was younger, that I would love to be in the medical field, in the healthcare field. So I'm always checking out the scenery in the back, just taking a glance to the back. So as you can see, this is the Appalachian Trail via Annapolis rocks. I just wanted to show you guys the white blazes. And so I went to be a CNA, and my mom was like a huge support system. Like, I couldn't have done it without her. And I had my dad, my stepmother, and a lot of other angels who came to help me on my journey. So my mom was helping me out with daycare, taking them to daycare, picking them up. as long as I was forward moving in my life. So I took the CNA course and I became a CNA. And I did that for a couple of years. And then I was like, it's like back-breaking work, you know. And I said, I really need something that I can sustain my life and my children's life with. And so at the time, God rest her soul, my mother-in-law had already become an LPN. She was telling me and her daughter about the program in DC, fast track course. I think it was 12 or 13 months. They kind of crammed it in. It's supposed to be a 2-year program. So I ended up going out to DC and taking this course. Well, my first 2 classes, I ended up failing. So I was really kind of like, man, I pulled out and I was like, well, what am I going to do? Because I really, you know, I really love nursing. So I was working at the time, I had to leave DC. It was in Tacoma Park. I had to leave there and go get my kids. And I also was working at the time. So I was like, it's probably just a lot. You know, it's probably just a lot for me in terms of trying to go to school as well. So I ended up going back, retaking the courses. And I'm telling you this story because this is really a pivotal moment in my life. Changes the trajectory of my life. So I ended up finishing the course, but I never paid. Like I never pay for any of my classes. So everything kind of came to a halt because I didn't have the money, $8,000, to pay for school. So I was talking to my mom. She was like, Lee, she's called me Lee. Lee, she said, it's going to work out. She said, you know, you just got to have faith. And sometimes you don't know where your blessing is going to come from. So I was like, okay. And time had gone by. It must have been almost a year had gone by. You know, I had went back to working just a regular job. I got, you know, my grandmother, the one I used to spend my summers with in New York City, she passed away. And my aunt called me, her sister, because she was the beneficiary. So she was taking care of all of the money, house, and everything that my grandmother owned. She called me on the phone one day and she said, Lisa, I talked to your mom and I know that you need the money for school. She said, before I do anything with this money, I'm going to send you your money. And I started tearing up because after a certain amount of time goes by, you like, I wouldn't say I like gave up hope, but I was just like, God, where's my blessing coming from? It's like time is going, you know, my kids are getting older and you know, I didn't really know what I was going to do. So I started tearing up because it was just one of the moments. It must have been 2 weeks later. I don't even know. Like I said, I'm not really good with the time. But I got a check in the mail. Let me stop for a minute because this is where it gets, you know, people are like, what? I got a check in the mail for $8,000 to the penny. My school was $8,000 to the penny. And I just cried. I was like, you know, I hope me telling this story may give somebody a glimmer of hope. Sometimes you plant a seed and you don't know how it's going to germinate and who it's going to affect. And so I'm going to stay on the Appalachian Trail because this says Bartman Hill Trail. We don't want to go there. We're just doing the Appalachian today. So, excuse me. that changed my life. And I just, I guess from that, I just want to say, always have faith in whoever you say your God is, Allah, Buddha, whoever, the universe. Always continue to have faith and show gratitude, man. Be grateful for what you have. And so I raised my children, and it really did change my life because I was making a lot more money. I could put them in. Although I will say, while my kids were growing up, I utilized all the free resources that I possibly could, and I talked to people that had a lot of compassion and allowed my children to, like my kids became black belts and went through karate, not because I really had the money, but John Kellum, who was one of those angels, decided that, look, we just want them to be here in the building doing karate, enjoying. Don't worry about that. Give me what you have. And another really important person was my son's coach, Coach Jarvis. Like, another one of my angels who allowed my son to play AAU and didn't have to. I didn't have it at the time with rent and things because I had moved out with their dad. And yes, me and their dad were together for 20 plus years. We were high school sweethearts. We did get married for the last 6 years. I am divorced now, but we are friends. And so that's a little bit about myself. I think in closing, before I let my friends come on and family come on and talk a little bit about me, I'll say some of my other hobbies, some of the other things I like to do aside from hiking, I love cycling. So my last biking adventure I went on, I went from Timonium, Maryland, out to PA, which is it's 50 miles. So it's 25 up and 25 back. Listen, y'all, that was the longest I had ever ridden my bike, and I did it on my birthday. Listen, I was tired on the way back, but I finished off strong. So I love biking. I love skating. I love the music. I love to, move around on my skates. And I think post-COVID, I got back into skating because I skated a lot as a kid. So I love skating. I love double dutch. I love reading. And I enjoy spending time with my family, my children, my best friend, Vicky, and my granddaughter. Spend a lot of time with her in the library and just talking. And so, yeah, those are some of the things that I enjoy doing. I love, I wanted to share this because I'm like, people don't really know who I am. But this is going to be a huge adventure for me, and I'm just excited. Actually, I'm excited to be on the Appalachian Trail, like today, y'all. Like, I'm out here today getting a feel for, and what I do think I'm going to do is I want to do parts of, I believe, Virginia and Pennsylvania as well to kind of get a feel for what the Appalachian Trail. When they say Annapolis rocks, they mean there's a lot of rocks out here. So, not a lot of traffic so far. And I went north. So I'm going to stay out here just for a little while today. Like, I'm not going to be out here too long. And then, so if there's anything that you want to share in the comments or any questions you might have. So now I'm going to have some of my friends and family. It's always interesting to hear how other people view you because it's really not how you see yourself. Like some of the stuff, like, really? So you'll get a chance to first hear my son, my oldest son. He's going to come on.
I'm going to try to condense this video into a few seconds with something that probably should take me a lifetime to describe my mom in a few words. Outgoing, defiant, a rule breaker, someone that tests the limits and never was one of those people to live inside a box. Someone that has broken barriers within our own family and who has carried us for such a lifetime, and set an example for me and my younger ones. um, Someone that I look up to, and every day that I feel like quitting or not giving it my all, I just go back to what she had to go through, and what she had to do to become the person she is today. Just a little background on her: she had us at 18 years old. At 21, she had 3 kids, and for a lot of people, especially black women, when the odds are stacked against you like that, they rely on welfare and government, right? And for her, she used that to take her life to the next level, and never one of those ones to make excuses, but to always find a way. And it was rough at times. Sometimes we didn't have everything that we would like, but we never felt it because of how resilient and strong she was. And so I say that to say that this trail is something that is not far fetched from the person she is, the outgoing person that she is, always looking to break new barriers and test her limits. And so I'm excited to see her go on this journey, because her whole life is a journey, was a journey and testament to who she is, and the type of family that she built. The things that I have done and my younger brother has done, and it's all a reflection of the mom that we had. And so, along with us breaking barriers, is nothing but, again, a reflection of just watching her, and her becoming successful with every odd stacked against her to fail.
Hi, my name is Patrice, and I'm going to describe Lisa in a few words. She is strong. She is determined. She is confident. She is who she is. Never switched up, never changed. She is my sister. She taught me a lot. She probably don't even know how much she taught me. So she is a teacher. She is great. Like, that's my friend. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's my sister.
Greetings. First of all, if you don't know Lisa, I'm here to tell you I had to write a couple words down because I can be long-winded about exactly who I see her as. So Lisa is a very intentional person. She's studious. She's goal-oriented. She's very analytical. She's lovable. She's a quiet soul who loves the outdoors. Now, I'm going to go with, I don't know what she wanted to get from it, other than to meet a challenge, and I've never known her not to be able to meet a challenge. There goes my earring. I think I would like to see her recognize that the people around are just as interesting as the trees. That's what I got. Have fun and enjoy. I'm sure she'll have a ball and come back with many stories to tell.
I want to talk about my friend Lisa. First, she is kind and compassionate and often peaceful. She's caring. She's the kind of friend that will help you move, which is a special kind of friend. I'm so grateful that our paths have crossed and that we've been able to stay in touch. One of the things that I hope she gets out of this walk on the Appalachian Trail, I hope she's able to strengthen her connection with nature and strengthen that peace within her, so that it's something that can never be shaken, so that she can just own that place within her and carry it with her, and honestly bless the rest of us as we go along. Thank you. I wish you well, Lisa.
Hey tribe, so I just want to come back and say thank you to my family and friends. So grateful for my community, and taking time out just to say something, bringing a bit of joy about my life and sharing a little bit about me. So I think it's it's not kind of a big deal, but it's a big deal, particularly in a culture where everything is so fast paced and people don't have time for anything. For people to take their time out to share about you is a huge deal. So thank you. I think I did about 5 or 6 miles today. I'm not sure, but I'm going to get some type of watch to track my miles as I go from now on. Thank you to Stella Hikes for the inspiration for the video. Thank you, Stella Hikes. Love and hike.